G'day, I'm Mark from Offroad Adventures. Welcome to this episode on my YouTube channel. This is another gear review video and yet again another air compressor review. So this episode I am testing the TJM four-wheel drive air compressor, obviously. So I just want to go through a few of the specs on this compressor. It's a little bit smaller physically in size and also by the numbers compared to the last couple of videos I've done. It says it does 72 litres per minute and it pulls 30 amps. It's got an on-off switch over here on the side, and it doesn't have, like the last couple I've done, have had a circuit breaker on the end of the compressor. There's no circuit breaker. What there is a inline fuse holder with a 30 amp fuse, which is kind of cool anyway because either everyone has blade fuses or you can get them pretty easily, pretty much from anywhere, so that's all good. So just opening up the bag, this is the carry bag it comes in obviously. I have had this apart already. On the box it says that it comes with a 7.2 metre hose. Now I actually measured that hose and I got 7.5 metres, so it'll be a little bit longer than what they say. Your little bag of goodies in here, it comes with a spare 30 amp blade fuse, your basketball tire inflation needle and a couple of little plastic adapters for pumping up toys and air mattresses and stuff like that. It comes with a single A4 page of instructions here. Now I had a bit of a man look at this earlier on and had a quick skim through it. Something I wanted to talk about was that it says here recommended on-off cycle time 15/30 minutes, which I take to mean for every 15 minutes you run it, you turn it off for 30 minutes. But directly above that it says maximum recommended continuous operating time is 40 minutes. So I'm not really sure what that means. It's a bit contradictory, but either way it does actually have an overheat protection in it, so if it does get too hot it will switch off. So that being that. Now one thing I wanted to talk about with this compressor in particular is that it comes with a 5-year warranty. Now I reckon that's awesome. Most of the other brands and suppliers seem to have between 12 months and 2 years. I did find one other supplier that was 3 years, but I couldn't find any others up around that or more than that. Recommended retail price is $175, so it sits somewhere in the middle, I'd say. It's sort of not the cheapest, but it's not the most expensive either. Now for this test I have cut off the alligator lead clips that it comes with, and I've soldered on the terminals and put my Anderson plugs on. So for anyone who hasn't seen my other videos, I do this with all the compressors, and the reason I do that is I like to use my high precision watt meter and power analyzer. I should love saying that. It's actually it measures amps and volts. So I've got an Anderson plug soldered on one side, I've got alligator clips soldered on the other, so I can simply plug in the Andersons together, put the alligator clips on the battery, run the compressor, and I can measure amperage and volts. So it's just a good way to test. Like I said, this says 30 amps. I'm going to test it and find out what it really is. And measuring the voltage is just making sure that for the testing purposes it's a sort of continuous voltage throughout the test. So I think I've probably talked enough about this compressor already. I think it's time to drive down the road and test it. Now, as per my other tests, I'm going to pump up the tyres on my Hilux, and those tyres are 265 75 16 on a 16x7 wheel. And I'm going to pump up all 4 tyres from 16 psi to 40 psi, which is what I would normally do if I'm out four-wheel driving. So I'll stop talking and drive down the road and do this test. Rightio, here we are about to test the TJM air compressor. I've got Holly helping me again today. Say hi, Holly. Hi. Now, same test conditions as other tests I've done. The tyres are 265 75 16. I'm going from 16 to 40 psi. I am actually using an ARB gauge instead of the factory gauge again. Going to have the engine running. I've got my little power analyzer there so we can test the how many amps it pulls, the voltage, make sure the voltage is stable, and also going to test the temperature of the hose again. So here we go, 4 tyres, 16 to 40. Let's get stuck into it. Rightio, that's the test done of the TJM compressor. All 4 tyres pumped up, no problem. So we have tyre number 1, 3 minutes 25 seconds. Tyre number 2, 3 minutes 30. Tyre number 3, around about 3 minutes 30 again. Tyre number 4 started to stretch out a bit, got up to 3 minutes 50. So I think it's probably running out of puff a little bit towards the end. But it's still actually really quick. It's still quicker than I thought it was going to be. Max amps it pulled I saw was 23. The voltage stayed steady, and the temperature of the hose, the highest I saw it get to was 79 degrees. Now, as I said before in the original intro, this does have a 5-year warranty, which I'm really impressed with. So, and as I said, it's a lot quicker than I thought it was going to be. So now, sometime coming up pretty soon, hopefully I'll have what I want to do is actually have a compressor shootout where I actually have 4 or 5 or 6 compressors all going head to head, and check out and see how they go. But I'll have to get hold of some more manufacturers and see if they will supply a compressor to do it. But in the meantime, I think this is actually pretty good little compressor. And that's about it. So thanks for watching. We're done on this test. Say bye, Hal.
Bye.
Thanks for watching, and look out for the next YouTube video.